Hello, what I'm going to show you today is how to take out the bearings on motorbike front wheel. This is for my BMW S1000rr. I'll not go into the ways and wherefores of why I'm taking off, but I'm taking out my bearings. So I tried this with a hammer and a metal dowel and it was an absolute nightmare. So what you're better off doing is purchasing one of these, which is, I think they're called a bearing bridge puller. So basically what that does is this screws into this piece here, which I've already put in. So that screws in there and then you screw on this, I'll show you in a minute, and that extracts the bearing out. I'll show you on this one. I've already put this in and it's actually clipped into the bearing, and then I've decided to make a video, so I thought I would show you. So basically this piece here is that, but that's obviously bigger, so I'll show you on this one. So that's basically what it looks like, and you see the square on the end of that where it's got the cut-ins. So basically what you need to do is you need to tap that into the bearing, and then you'll basically hear it click in behind, and then you can see there that's spinning freely, but it's sat underneath the bearing, so it can't go forward. What you do is you put the bridge piece on top. This comes with different spacers and stuff. You can take them off. There's, you know, you work out how to use it. What I did was make sure you know which way to screw the nut to bring it out prior to doing it, because you don't want to mess your bearings up. So all you do is, once that piece is in, sorry, I forgot to mention, this piece, I've actually cracked this tight. I need to show you this piece. That in there is basically a bigger version of that, and then you get this piece, which is a spreader. So that piece there, as you screw that in, it splays those four pieces at the bottom. It doesn't need to splay it much. All it needs to do is just force out the little lip at the bottom, which then secures it underneath the bearing. So that's that completely tight now. Then back to this bridge on top, and then screw down the top just until it's tight. And then what you need to make sure is that the bridge pieces are on either pieces of wood, or what I've done, as you can see, I've just made the bridge pieces sit on top of the circular part of where the bearing comes out. Either or, just to make sure that it doesn't damage your wheels. You could maybe put like a rag under it or something, if you had like I don't know, a really shiny finish on your paint. But this part here is going to go, it'll be inside your bike forks anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. From here, push this nut all the way down flush there, and then you're going to need an Allen key on the top and a spanner to turn this nut. And then basically all it is a case of clockwise on this, so you're going to keep the Allen keys steady, and then just clockwise motion on that. What I do is just keep an eye on the bridge pieces, because if they fall off, obviously they could nick your wheel as you're doing it. You might hear a little crack when it actually starts to take purchase, or it kind of moves out from where it's been stuck. That's the crack that we were expecting. And if you can zoom into the metal bearing inside, you'll actually see it coming out. And then pretty much as it's coming out, oh, there we go. And so that you can see there, that's what I was talking about. Those portions just sit underneath the bearing. And then, yeah, just unscrew it and then it comes out, and then there's your wheel without the bearings. What I would say is, don't do like I did and muddle through with a metal dowel and all that, because I was at this for 2 hours just to try to heat it up and bang it out and all that kind of stuff. This is a lot more civilized. It doesn't put any stress on the wheel. You heard there, you had one crack, which was basically the bearing coming, kind of moving its way nicely out of the wheel, and it's just a lot easier. Last thing is, that's the bearing out. Then you obviously need to get it off of this. So all you need to do is uncrack these, just loosen them off so they're out of the way. And then, I mean, you need them out so that unless you've got a spanner that's the right size. I didn't have the right size, so you need that so you can crack these back off, because they do get quite tight. Oh, like that. Then it's basically a case of winding that bottom part off, so then you're kind of left with that. And then take out the spreader piece, and then this piece has a lip on it. I'll show you once we've taken it out, but basically what I've done is I cut a couple of bits of wood. You can probably fashion some in yourself. Stick them on, basically so it's holding the bearing in place, and then all you need to do he says just lightly tap them out with a rubber hammer. If that doesn't work, that'll not work either. Bear with. There we go. So you can see that's it, kind of into the inside of the bearing now, and then just a case of using something to just edge it out, and then there's your bearing, and there's the piece that we were talking about. So basically you can see that little lip sits underneath the bearing. When that's in place, that's what pulls it out. So when you're getting this out from the bearing, there's obviously going to be a bit of tension in there, because it needs to be strong enough to pull the bearing out. So there you go, that's the removal of that as well. Hope that's helped everybody. I'll just show you finally all the bits and bobs that came in the kit that I got. So again, this is Amazon. It's like 30 quid or something, I think it came. I actually took these bits off because that came fully assembled, and it kind of came like that. You kind of get the idea.